Welcome, 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 welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida, and today I'm going to show you these fall favorite pumpkin muffins. These are absolutely worthy to be made in fall. Let's get started. This recipe calls for flour, sugar, eggs, of course 100% pumpkin puree, you can find that in the can, some vanilla, pumpkin spice seasoning, let's see, some baking powder, baking soda, a little bit of milk, and I believe I said vanilla. All right, I'm taking my large bowl and adding in the dry ingredients. In this bowl, I have 1.5 cups of flour. Then I'm adding in a teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, and then I'm gonna add 2.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie seasoning, or spices, should I say. If you don't have pumpkin pie spices, you can just add about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Once those are all in the bowl, I want to just take my whisk, or if you have a fork, and just mix those in till everything is mixed in well. When I start baking with my cinnamon and my nutmeg and my ginger, I know it is fall season, winter season, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are some of the definitely not seasoning, the spices that make those holiday desserts just great. Takes them up a notch. Okay, my dry ingredients are ready. They are mixed well, so I'm going to just sit this bowl to the side, bring in another bowl, and we're going to add the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients include the sugars, and we have white sugar and brown sugar here. I have a half a cup of white sugar, a half a cup of brown sugar. To the sugars, I'll also be adding in my eggs, and that's 2 eggs at room temperature. I'll be adding a can of pumpkin, and that's a cup, 1 cup and a fourth of the pumpkin, fresh pumpkin, adding a half a cup of oil, adding in 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You never can go wrong with vanilla. A little extra always goes a long way. And I think those are all the ingredients. Oh, and then I'm adding in a 1/4 cup of milk. And I just had 2% milk, so that worked fine, or whole milk. And these are the wet ingredients. These are what help to make these muffins extra moist. The flavor is in the dry ingredients, but the moistness is in the wet ingredients. So this makes for the perfect muffin. The perfect pumpkin muffin is right here in this video. Okay, I'm finishing up on adding in those wet ingredients. As you see, I did add in that pumpkin, I added in the oil, and I added in the milk. So to this bowl, I'm just go over one more time. It was a half a cup of regular sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 eggs, half a cup of oil, 1 1/4 cup of the pure pumpkin, then 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I wanted to start my dry ingredients in the larger bowl because I will be adding the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, which I'm going to do now. And I'm just pouring those ingredients into that dry batter. Once everything is in there, I will just take a whisk. What I do like about this recipe is that I was just able to use a hand whisk. I didn't have to use the heavy mixer, the large standing mixer. None of that. All of this worked with a good handy dandy whisk. and just adding the wet ingredients in. As you see, if you put your wet ingredients in the larger bowl, you can simply just add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, whatever works for you. I think they're both interchangeable. Either way works. And so I'm going to give this a good stir, not to overmix, but just to make sure everything is well combined. I'm going to stir this for a while, and then soon the muffin batter will be ready. So it's coming together. You see that nice, pretty orange pumpkin color. Now, one thing about these muffins, I believe where you have pumpkin, if you want to substitute it with sweet potato, I think that would taste just as good. And actually, I'm going to try that. So I have a different recipe for sweet potato muffins for you coming up soon this season because I love sweet potatoes also. But you can just use 1 1/4 cup of sweet potatoes. I will bake them first and just use that filling in place of the pumpkin, and then you have sweet potato muffins. All right, my batter is done, and this is going to make 12. I actually made 14, but this will make definitely a dozen muffins. And we are filling these 3/4, mostly over half, 3/4 of the way full with that batter. Now, what I didn't say was that we want to preheat the oven to 425. And when I saw the recipe, I was like, 425 degrees, that is very, very high. But you put it on 400 high heat, 425 for 5 minutes. Then we're going to drop it back down to 350 degrees for the remaining, I would say about 12 to 15 minutes. Definitely keeping an eye on them. And that high heat causes that nice rise in the muffin, so it gives it that nice dome look. So that's why you want to start it at a high heat, then drop it after 5 minutes. Looks like the muffins are oven ready. I'm just going ahead and placing those in the oven on the middle rack. I would check them about 10 minutes. And voila, they are ready. Look how they puffed up just beautifully. These muffins were exceptional. I give them 2 thumbs up. They were excellent my first time making them. I did put a little cream cheese frosting on top, but you can really eat them as is. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for coming in kitchen. Until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. Take care.